What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. We are a Kamen Rider review podcast, and today on the show, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider Zeztz, episode number 10. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Let's do some more talking.
Yeah, we accidentally, which this happens a lot to us, we accidentally spent like 20 minutes talking about a lot of the things that we otherwise would have probably talked about on the show, but we just hadn't clicked record yet. We got to start clicking record the second we start talking, I think.
Maybe. And see, like the problem is, I'm sure half the conversations wouldn't. People like when we bullshit, or at least some of the audience likes the bullshit 20 minutes and not the review 20 minutes. But it's more just like I haven't talked to Josh directly for a week, and
Yeah.
it's that kind of like a misdirected, unguided conversation than just like, oh, this is like a interesting conversation. It's like, Josh, I had dinner today. It was cool.
But sometimes it becomes an interesting conversation without us knowing that it's going there. And then those are the moments where we're like, I wish we would have recorded that. I wish I could have turned this nice friendship moment into content.
That is true. Every once in a while, like we do come up with something genius, or we're just laughing and bullshitting. And then the same thing, especially in the old days, like when we used to just do the full bullshit podcasts, it was literally when we both joined the call, it was press record because this is like quote unquote bonus end of show content.
Yeah.
And we probably have to bring that back just in case.
We might. Yeah, we might indeed do that. Speaking of the opposite of press record and bullshit, I put up a scripted YouTube video this week, Toby.
You did.
Like
it's all about everyone's favorite thing, Batman and Kamen Rider.
It's not Batman, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Kamen Rider.
Oh, I thought it was Spider-Man Sentai. That's why I was trying to do the double swerve and be a prick.
Oh, okay. I thought you were at first, and then I thought you genuinely didn't know, and then I thought it was very cute. If anyone's interested, I put up a video essay about Japanese Spider-Man, which was fun to dig into and research and put together. So a little bit unusual for us, but go check that out. I might link it in the description for this episode too. But I've got another one coming, Toby. I'll give a little preview. The next video essay that I'm working on right now is about the history of tokusatsu in America.
So Power Rangers.
You'd think that, but there's more to it than that, and that's what we're going to dive into.
And VR Troopers.
Okay, that's the other third.
And Beetleborgs.
All right, you've pretty much that's pretty much
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Yeah, that's true.
They had the middle Lawrence kid in it.
But do you know about Vampires, which is about cars that turn into vampires? Did you know about that one? Did you?
There's a show where the cars turn into vampires.
Yeah, it's called Vampires.
I mean, that's a good pun or a good joke name, but like, why would that even be a thing? Like, of all the things that we've mashed up in the world, like I used to watch a cartoon about sharks that were turned into humans, kind of like the Ninja Turtles, but sharks. And then because they lived on the streets, they were street sharks.
Yeah, street sharks were awesome. What are you trying to come at me and say like street sharks weren't the coolest thing that existed when we were kids? Because they were.
No, I'm just saying, like, of all the random things we smashed together to make cartoons or whatever, like Cats that somehow got Sentai armor and delivered pizzas at the same time is one of my favorite cartoons. But like Samurai Pizza Cats, in theory, is a stupid mashup of things. Like, who and where was like, I'm driving a van. Oh shit, what if it turned into a vampire?
Well, I think the thing is, you said the reason why, and then you dismissed it. Sometimes, literally, a good pun can be the beginning of an entire idea. And I think that's literally what it was in this case. Someone realized that vampire was a very funny pun, and then they made an entire show because of the funny pun.
Okay, so then we're going to start brainstorming a show now called Carnival, which is about a carnival, but the cars turn into like the circus performers.
Sure. Listen, I think that could be just as good of a show as Vampires.
Oh, absolutely. You know what, Josh? I am sure it would be just as good of a show as Vampires.
A show that let me tell you, ran for 13 episodes in 1997 and was never renewed, and literally no one remembers. I think we could reach that high bar.
I'm actually stoked that it made 13 episodes. Like,
yeah,
they actually let it ride the full gamut of like they actually gave them the whole first season, not just like it was 4 episodes that somehow we got there and then it all just went to shit.
Yeah, they let it run the full 13. I'm assuming because they also spent like $5 million on it. I found that out. It has music from the bass player from The Who.
That's fun.
Vampires is insane. The fact that it exists is crazy, but yeah, it got the full 13 episodes. Maybe that's a Patreon show we should watch is Vampires.
Josh, what
Really?
about tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills?
Yeah, that's one as well. Also
What
not
are
a
these
good show.
shows? Zsa Zsa Gabor is in that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a bunch of shows, and I found this out researching for this video. There's more shows than you realize that are like people looking at Power Rangers and going, well, we got to get some of that money. And there's so many shows that are like that like you've forgotten about that like are someone's entire childhood.
So to let Josh finish his sales pitch of his fancy video, and a follow-up question. So like just for the record, I proofread Josh's video once he put it out, so I guess that just means I watched it.
You watched it before I put it out, to be clear. I wanted everyone to know you watched it before it came out.
Ooh, okay. So I got a sneak peek access.
Yes.
I want to clarify that like it's not like when Josh and I talk stupid about things. It's actually like Josh doing a story about the information, just for the record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like because if someone's interested, like I'm not trying to dissuade people, but like I don't want them to be like, oh, that's them being stupid about Spider-Man and Kamen Rider. Like, no, it's an actual thing that's like a normal documentary story, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, for sure. It's different than our podcast content. Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's different than the beginning of our podcast for sure. And we certainly have avenues for like joking over top of Spider-Man, which we may do at some point. But yeah, this is a little bit more factually based, which I found fun. It's been fun to like dive into that research stuff, and there's a lot of that on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully people like it.
Yeah, go watch it after you're done listening to this. Focus on the main meal, and then you can go have dessert afterwards.
Exactly, that's great. You're an expert at marketing, Toby.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, because I agree.
Carnival coming out in 2027.
I was gonna say I agree. I am quite a snack. Thank you. I'm just gonna let that linger for a second.
Keep it let it simmer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think the laughter's died down. Now we can move on. Toby, today we watched Kamen Rider Zeztz, and by today I mean literally today, because they don't post the freaking episodes until Monday when we record, which I complained about to you.
Yeah, it threw off Josh's whole weekend.
It really does. Listen, here's where I'm gonna say, "Woe is me," as a person who watches Kamen Rider and then has a standing appointment to talk about it. I'd like to watch the show on Sunday and then talk about it on Monday, but they don't post it on YouTube until Monday, so then I have to watch it on like the weird live stream version, which is kind of annoying to do. And it's hard to be this persecuted, is what I'm saying, Toby.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah. Don't be envious of me in my position over here. That's what I'm saying. Nonetheless, we watched Kamen Rider Zeztz. We are up to case number 10 at this point, and we're starting a new case after the chef adventure that we had last time around.
Royale sauce has been distributed across the proper channels, and now we can move on.
It certainly has. And this time around, the new mission starts with Baku as a housekeeper, and he's got his cute little sexy maid costume on when he shows up. And he's a housekeeper for this guy who I guess is like a rich dude who's collecting art, and he has clearly just acquired a new painting that he is in love with. And Baku shows up. We also get to meet Nem here, who is bizarrely a mannequin for this mission. They clearly couldn't find a good way to include her, so then they just like put her in a weird goth costume and called her a mannequin.
I feel like they did a good job, because otherwise, I feel like it's weird pandering to be like, look at Nem in a maid outfit. So I'm glad she didn't get the maidal treatment as well. But Baku did get to say because he made some comment about like, wow, you're a mannequin, you're an antique statue, that's cool. And he said the owner appreciates your artistic value. He really does have a good eye. And like the way he said it felt like at least flirty of like, oh yeah, like he thinks you're pretty, so do I, wink wink kind of deal. So that was fun.
Yeah, he got a little aggressive with that flirt. I feel like that's a little bit like my cards are on the table, you know? Like you can't like coyly take that one back if it doesn't land.
I mean, if you're already always together in your dreams, I guess worst case, even if it goes to shit, it's still just dreams.
I guess so. Why was that when I don't know if you were like this, but when I was really young, the go-to with flirting was always to do something that you could easily deny if it all bombed. You could be like, no, I didn't mean that. I don't really think those things about you as a person. Uh, I just never committed, Toby. I think that's common. You got to commit.
I probably overcommitted because I was like, well, if I say or do this wonderful thing, then obviously you're just gonna fall head over heels, and that never really panned out for my entire life.
It did never work out that way, huh? Yeah. Well, that's too bad for you.
It turned out that the trick when it does work is just to not try, and then it just all just falls in your lap.
You gotta neg them. I get it.
Yeah,
You gotta be like, hey, you're a nice woman, but you have ugly fingernails. I think that's how a neg works. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
You should have been like, wow, you definitely look antique. Your face looks old. And it should have been like, wow, what a burn. You got me.
I think you're really smart and unique, but you suck at washing dishes. Marry me. I'm nailing it over here, I think.
I know everyone's gonna fall for us. This is gonna be a dangerous episode.
Quit throwing yourself at your phone as you're listening to this, please. I'm taken. This was just an example. Hopefully you can reel your emotions back in.
That's
Toby,
even more of a challenge.
Toby, there's been a theft. Right after Baku shows up, the art is stolen. It's gone missing. It disappears from its weird spot that he had it in. He was displaying this art in a very weird place, but now it's gone, Toby. The art is gone.
The art is gone, and it's probably like the most effective heist of all time because they were looking at the picture. Baku turned the corner, said, "Hey Nem, you're a statue today. You look nice." The owner sees you, thinks you do too, and then the owner ran in and then said, "Oh my God, my statue's missing." And if I'm scrolling on the timestamp from like, I think it was like 2 minutes from the time they walked away from the painting for Baku to talk to them, for the owner to run back and go, "Oh my God, my shit's gone." And there was not a trace to be seen of how they disappeared. So it's very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And so impressive, in fact, because we actually get to see the video of other paintings get stolen later on in this episode. And it's so funny because they show it multiple times. And it's literally the painting, like, lifts itself off of its hanger and then just kind of like walks away, like as if an invisible person is carrying it. The video that they created is so funny. So it really is the perfect crime. An invisible man comes in and takes the painting. And then
that's what the invisible people always strive for in life.
Having beautiful art.
Yeah. Anytime there was ever like an invisible person in any sort of media, they're always at least doing like one douchebag thing. Like no matter what, when they realize like I'm invisible, there's always one douchebag moment. And this was this monster's, I guess we'll call it. It wasn't a person per se.
I feel like he's the only invisible person in all of media to make his douchebag thing not be look at a girl naked. Like that's like everyone else's go-to, right? Like every time I've seen a movie that involves someone turning invisible, literally the first gag is always, let's go look at a naked girl.
It's either that or like get back at your bullies, which is at least a little bit better. But it's always like, I'm going to embarrass the resident asshole. And I'm definitely going to creep into like a locker room. Are always like the two go-tos.
It really, it really makes you think about the human psyche. The second that we can remove consequences, we get up to some real nonsense. It's like everyone's on the internet at all times. Yeah. We also find out that the mission this time around is to protect the national secret or get back the national secret. I think
get back the national secret, because the national secret, at least technically as of now, is the painting.
Yes, as far as we know. Yeah, that seems like it is the painting.
And so,
Um,
and my guess is, Josh, it's going to be a swerve. It's like a red herring. That's not actually the painting. It's something else.
yeah, I think it's gonna be like something like underneath the painting or in the frames or something weird like that, probably. But we'll see, because yeah, this is a two-parter. Um, Baku pulls out his weird little go-go gadget eye tool, and he finds it's really Batman, like the detective vision from
Hey,
Batman.
hey, that's exactly what I wrote down. I wrote down
Yeah,
we're going full Batman detective mode with these little step tracings.
yeah,
Really
very
good.
much Batman this time around. Yeah, because he sees footprints, and they follow the footprints outside, and it eventually leads them to Knox, who shoots them out of nowhere. Which was a great scene when you just start shooting. Baku, of course, wants his recovery, caps him back, and Nim kind of pieces together for Baku that she thinks that her and Nox are kind of the same in that they are like dream wanderers. And then we get a little flashback about their interaction about that.
Dream warriors, just like Freddy Krueger taught us all.
Exactly. Baku mentions the national secret to Nox. Nox shoots him, and he wakes up.
I guess I couldn't do it 2 times in a row. I was actually shocked that, like, unless the goal was not for Nox to hurt him and just to wake him up, like he took like a laser blaster to the chest and just woke up and was fine. So I guess they couldn't try to murder him twice. But I am shocked it didn't do any sort of damage whatsoever.
Yeah, I wondered that too. Yeah, because we're just off the heels, like you said, of shooting him, and it's a near death thing. Yeah, he gets shot so hard he wakes up is like apparently a no big deal, nothing's going wrong situation. But yeah, apparently it was a glancing blow. I don't know. Baku goes and meets with the police officers in his secret base, and turns out there are other paintings that have also gone missing. The connection between all the paintings is they all have these anemone flowers depicted on them. Other than that, they are by different artists from different eras. Really, no relation other than this flower. Baku, of course, puts it together that, hey, he also saw that flower in the painting that went missing in the dreams. They also saw footprints kind of in both places. So they're connecting the real world cases with the dream one.
I was stoked that the cop was so happy. Older cop was so stoked that Baku was like cracking cases and getting information and stuff. He was all excited. They're doing like fist bumps. I'm glad like the dreamy bromance is building here, while the lady partner just kind of looks at the two, like both of them like idiots.
It really is building
crazy
because not only did they fist bump, he fist bumped and then blew it up. If you didn't notice that. Yeah, I think that I think Fujimi is a cool dude. He wants to hang out more with Baku. He just doesn't know how to tell him.
Yeah.
Fujimi thinks that the dreamer has to be someone who needs their secret hidden. They're trying to figure out who it might be. Baku, is going to investigate more at nighttime, and yeah, they all kind of head out to investigate. We also find out that the all of these paintings like had been kind of purchased a lot and then sort of had fallen off the radar. Like no one really knew who owned them up until very recently, kind of for all of them.
Secret benefactors moving around, dirty art deals.
Yep, exactly. Zero comes out, turns out of motorcycle form, pops up because Baku talks about like, well, I can't help because it's during the day, and Zero's like, actually you can, and points out basically that he can pretend to be like an art preservation society member, and he can go ask questions during the day. So he puts on a ridiculous getup and goes to the gallery to ask questions.
It was amazing. His Karl Marx mustache with glasses really threw him off. I think it was funny too that like, I guess if I was Baku, I would just be like, oh, in my dreams, I'm freaking Kamen Rider. The dreams are the best. That's where I do my work. And like he got like a lesson today of like, hey, dummy, just because it's daytime, like go be a detective too. You don't have to just like fuck around for 12 hours while you're awake and go, up 7 o'clock, I can go to bed and be a hero now. It's like, no, you could work both sides.
Yeah, it's like he learned today that he had to do the detective part of the Batman job. I was like, yeah, it takes both, man. You gotta go, you gotta go put the legwork in.
I guess like I guess the other perk part, whatever you want to call it too, is I guess if you wouldn't think about the fact that your boss could just give you like VIP cards to everything, I probably wouldn't think I could do things either. But then like, because like Zero is like, oh, you know how this works, and Baku's like, oh yeah, you can probably give me an invite to something, and he's like, yep, here you go, and he, like prints out, hands him a little piece of paper, or whatever. So I guess if you weren't used to that part of the relationship of like, hey, there's an art gala tonight, and there's no way me, a poor boy, will be able to get there, and your boss is like, no, here's a free ticket. You just had to ask. Like I feel like until you get into that cycle of this is how life works, I'd probably be confused too.
Yeah, I mean, you are going through a lot of changes right now as a young man who just found out he was a common writer. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's gonna take some adjustment. The big thing we find out from this investigative work by Baku is that the paintings seem to all have been donated recently, and they were not donated by the person that Baku is meeting in the dreams. Um, the person who he's meeting in the dreams is someone who shows up and begs to be given the paintings instead. So yeah, it seems like maybe he's a person who would have high motives for stealing paintings, for example. We talk more to the police officers, and yeah, they watch the film, as I said, and then find out that they'd been donated by Odaka Kinsai. And when we talk to Baku again, we find out that that, of course, again, is the name of the missing associate of the older cop, and also it's Knox. So these had been donated by Knox himself, apparently.
I was impressed where like my little notes as I went through here was he got Baku got his 2 new captions for the week. I know people have told us it was either in our Discord at patreon.com/thecommentwriters, or it was from email, cast@commentwritersucks.com. But it was pointed out to us at one point that the different henshins were tied to the colors of the capsums and how the powers worked.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, like rapid fire, we got Baku Zero being like, hey, did you ever notice how the colors work? And Baku was like, no. We got the official rundown of like, red is physical, it means this, blue is this, green is this, blah, blah, blah. And then off of that, Baku tried to keep turning the gacha machines.
Yeah.
There's a question I asked weeks ago of why not just get more? I think it's cool there's actually a rule in place where like the machines break. And Zero is like, no, you actually can't take more than you're supposed to. So we established that. It was fun to put together officially with words from the show. And then I was also shocked because it's all in the same like 30-second rundown that we at least got to put like everyone knows who Nox is now. Or at least like Baku knows who his actual like nemesis is. And I thought that was cool that we actually like, we're not going to dance around this for a couple more weeks. We're going to actually just be like, hey, like that's who Nox really is. He's your police buddy's old friend kind of deal.
Yeah, that's one thing that we saw a lot with Geets, and of course, same writer and stuff here, so it makes sense. But like Geets did this really well, and Zeztz is also doing it well again, where they will set up something that feels like it's going to be a thing that'll be a long running mystery, or like it'll be a misunderstanding between characters for a long time, and then the very next episode they'll like resolve it, and that's always a really exciting thing in stories that where it feels like you're getting outsmarted, right? Which is what you always want to have happen when you're watching something. Is like I don't want it to be purely predictable, and that for sure happened here. Like I thought the Knox is the former police officer was going to be a thing that was going to drag out forever, but like you said, we're connecting all those dots now. Baku knows the full story. Whether he gives that up to Fujimi, I'm not sure. We'll find out, but like. At least Baku like kind of has the full story. So yeah, I think that they're doing great at that, and I think that Geets was also very good with that. The 2 capsules that you mentioned that he gets out of the machines are Barrier and Wonder. We get to see a lot of Barrier get used this time around, and basically it's just a shield, like a cool split shield. He's got half of it on each arm that he can bring his arms together and form a full shield. And then he can also do like invisible woman style barriers and just like put circles around people and protect them, which I thought was cool too.
Well, I was talking about the Nox story. It just after I said Nemesis, it just clicked to me that Nem's name could also be Nemesis.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how I just got there, but I did. It's probably because of the vampires pun and Car Naval that I
really,
think one point today.
yeah, really got that part of your brain working. I thought it was very funny that Zero, when he tries to get more than one caps mount, Zero like kind of like scolds him about it. Like it's not just like telling him this is how it works. He's just like, don't be greedy.
That's not how it works, bud.
That's just like a very funny thing when it's like it's literally like your power ups, the ways that you become a hero. I like the idea that you're being greedy still, like even though it's the thing you need.
And it was even like Zero put like the gentle, like guiding, steering hand on his arm, kind of like you put it on someone's shoulder and be like, "No, buddy, we're gonna go this way." But just put like the gentle hand on his arm and was like, "You can't take out too many at once. Don't be greedy."
Right. There's also in this little scene a great moment where Baku comes out of the closet because he was in his little secret area, and his sister's sitting there in his room, and she's like, "What are you doing in the closet?" And he like, fights her to keep from opening the closet, and then he ends up telling her it's a matter of national security or whatever. It's like he's like protecting national secrets, and she just is like, "Yeah, you better not be helping people at a national scale." That's pretty good. So yeah,
I think it's funny, like with that specifically.
Mhm.
Once, like I would assume that she knows how big his closet is. Like people have been over to my house, or like anyone's house. You open a jacket closet, you're like, wow, this room goes 2 feet back, and it's filled with clothes or jackets or whatever. And I feel like if he just like exploded out of his closet like he did, and he was like, nope, I was just doing stuff in there, I feel like his sister would be like, why? Like, how did you fit in there? Why were you in there? What are you doing? And I feel like she probably would ask more questions because she seems kind of on the ball more times
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah, it is weird to just accept that and not think anything more about it. If this was real life and this happened, you would either think the person was in there, one, doing drugs, or two, just jerking off, right? Like those are the two options. If
And,
someone is just hanging
maybe
out in a
that second
closet,
one, yeah, maybe that second one is why she didn't want to go in. She was like, I don't want to know what my teenage brother is doing in his closet privately. I'm just gonna, I'll let this go. National security, great. Yep, don't do that. Bye.
dude, she's not that quick because she fights him to try to get in the door. Like if she'd been thinking that, what's she gonna do? Whip the doors open and see all the socks standing up? Like you gotta. I mean, come on, she should have known, right? So I don't think she's thinking it all the way through, Toby. That's all I'm saying.
That's probably fair.
But yeah, you see a grown man come out of his closet after clearly having spent some time in there. Don't ask any questions. It's better if you don't know. Is the answer.
Just look away.
Yeah, avert your eyes, go to the kitchen, and wait for him to come out of his room because clearly you saw something that you weren't supposed to see. All right, there's a little tip for everybody for coexisting.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Baku goes back to sleep, and I actually really loved this. So like he goes back to sleep. He into the house. He's in his he's in his housekeeping costume, but they just like instantly bail on like the quote unquote job that is the dream, and they get on the motorcycle and go to start investigating. And I love the idea of like dropping all pretense of like having to play along with the dream and being like, screw this, we're out.
It is fun because like it does get to like in other shows, like just because Gav was recent, like, oh, they're really gonna refill the 100 Gachizos every time, and it went from like a scene to like half a scene to a quarter of the scene, and always kind of addressed. And I wonder if we're getting close enough at this point to like, hey everyone, this is how the show works. You get it now, right? Where the dreams will actually like stop being a thing and the jobs won't really matter, rather than just being like, hey, okay, we're in a dream again. Ha ha ha, here's the monster of the week, but in costume form for me. And then we just go from there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as we'll eventually transition from the stories each week being sort of the focal point of like the dream and what the secret is and all that stuff, to the story becomes about, about Nox or about whatever the big bad is, and like they become more of the focal point. Right now they're kind of the outside. And it'll be interesting to see how they are able to shift the storytelling, given this structure when we get to that point, because I think that will be a challenge. But yeah, certainly fun to see. And this show with the dream stuff makes it really interesting, and a lot of it feels very unlike Kamen Rider in a good way. It feels very fresh, because it's a long time in these episodes before we get to the actual fighting, which is kind of what we're up to right now. So they hop on Zero and they drive over to where the Nightmare has hung up the 3 paintings, and basically he then is like kind of like putting mold or something on them. Like he's a mold monster, and he's like working on the paintings, but like covering them up seemingly, or tearing off the paint. It's hard to tell, but essentially it appears that he's destroying the paintings.
He looked to me like the scene in Gremlins when Gizmo gets wet and they do the good practical effects of like he gets these weird fuzzy pussy boils that explode into new gremlins. But that's what he looks like as a monster this week.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. I think so. We have wet Gizmo as our monster this time around. This is of course where Nox is here as well, and he's telling the Nightmare, "Hey, you're doing a great job. Like we're gonna uncover the national secret or whatever." And then Baku shows up. So we get the henshin, as you mentioned. We get the good fighting. We get really good use of the barrier. Essentially we get our little fight going, and Nox kind of takes the battle outside. There's a really cool building that is like a inverted pyramid kind of, which I thought was really cool, that we kind of fight outside of.
I thought like the one cool special thing they were doing this time too was, I guess we can call it artsy, or like from like an art gallery artsy vibe, but they had like a TV monitor in the background the whole time that was sometimes showing the fight directly or sometimes showing like the other shots of the fight, and it worked really well for that stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was really cool. It's like showing the fight, but like maybe it's off by a little bit, or like an angle that doesn't actually work in real life. Like a very, very cool, like makes you feel like you're at a dream state kind of thing. And then at one point they like push into the screen, and then that like teleports them outside, which is a cool dream thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing really good with that type of stuff to make it very clear we're in a dream, and like the transitions and stuff don't have to make sense and all that stuff. Baku at some point like confronts Nox about his real identity, and Nox tells him like, "Oh, that man, he doesn't exist anymore." And he's like, "Now I'm Nox," and he says that he is the agent who lives in the night and wanders through dreams. So Nox seemingly, we had been sort of guessing what his goals were, and maybe it's like, hey, I want to fix my sword so I can get home and like, become a human again. But he seems to not actually be into that, or at least he's telling Baku that he's not into that as the cliffhanger for this episode.
Yeah, it seems like he's more just like bent on destruction from a system that failed him vibe.
Yeah.
And is there anything more classic than the speeches of like, X is dead, I am now Y? Like with Nox being like, that person you know is gone. I'm definitely Nox now. I feel like that's like one of the most classic like villainy arc speeches of all time, if not like the hero's speech right before they win the day.
It really is. Yeah, the like that I don't go by that name anymore. Now my name is Venom, or whatever it might be, like whatever badass name you've adopted. With him today, it's like, of course I'm Nox now. Don't you see the cool long hair that I grew? Did you see that?
I got the bleach stripes or the whiteout stripes, or whatever you call them.
Yeah, I got the tiger stripes in. That's when I'm Nox. Okay. If I don't have the tiger stripes, you can call me by my real name, but damn it, I'm Nox right now. It's like when the kid in high school gets mad that all of his friends won't call him like, Slash or whatever weird name he's picked for himself.
Or even like if you tell like all your friends or all you like, get all your friends to call you Slash, and then you get home and your mom's like, Josh, did you take the garbage out? And you're like, Mom, I'm Slash. Come on. And all your friends
Yeah,
start laughing at you.
totally. Dude, I knew a guy in college whose name was Stick. And I have no idea whether that was his real name or a nickname. I'm assuming nickname. But when I met him, he introduced himself to me as Stick. And I never found out his last name. I never found out any other name for him. So he was only ever Stick. Isn't that weird?
I, I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like yes, in practice, yes. But maybe his last name was like Stickman or something, and he got tired of being called that, so he just went with Stick.
You know what's funny? I literally never had considered that until this moment. Like in my head, he was like a fucking ninja turtle fighting with a long stick or something. Like I'd built this whole narrative for this guy in my head that he was into martial arts and he really liked stick fighting, and then that's why he was Stick. But no, it makes way more sense that his name was probably Stickman or something. Yeah, no, that checks out.
Or a name that rhymed with Stick, and he didn't want to be called a stupid name, so he's just like, just call me Stick. It's easier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of real options here, Josh. Come on now.
There are. If it helps, he also, I believe, if I remember correctly, had dreadlocks when I first met him. So, in my mind, that led into the you clearly must be very into martial arts.
Was he
But I
very
had,
skinny?
yeah, he was kind of like a littler guy for sure.
So he was skinny like a stick.
Oh my God, oh Jesus, you're right. Oh, you're totally right.
It's all
That's
coming
yep,
together, buddy.
it is.
2025.
I gotta send some text messages or something. I guess I don't know.
Tell some
Yeah.
people. Say you were brainstorming, reflecting upon childhood, and you're like, "Yo, I think I cracked the greatest case. Case 10. Recover the national name."
Case 10, find out why the guy who was skinny and tall was named
It was
Stick.
called Stick. See,
Yeah,
we don't need fucking dreams for this.
we don't. We can figure it out right here, right now. Who needs Batman? Who needs Detective Vision? We're getting to the bottom of it. Yeah, so that's the cliffhanger for episode 10. I like you said before, I love that we are really getting to the bottom of the Nox stuff. We're really diving into more about his character than I thought we would be getting in episode 10. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. We're like, it's fun we're getting it so early because there's lots of things that like I mean, I guess the past season or two, they're doing better about not dragging shit out. But we're like in episode 10 and we already know basically the main bad that we've seen, his whole motivation. We don't have people guessing who he is or who he was. Like we just know what's going on there. We know Nem's in a coma, and that's why Nem is always in dreams. Like all the big pieces, I feel like are effectively out there already, and we're super early into the show, all things considered.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's fun to see where they're gonna go from here. All right, well, let's jump over, Toby, to emails. As you mentioned earlier, cast@commonwritersucks.com is the email address. Once again, that is cast@commonwritersucks.com. Feel free to send us in emails about whatever you want. Ask us questions about anything. Anything's on the table, we'll read it on the show, unless you're really insane. And our bar is very low for that, let me be clear. We have an email this week. It comes in from our friend Shade. Shade sets the bar very high for emails.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you want to come in a little bit lower, that's okay. We're fine with that. Shade says, greetings, everyone, and welcome to Case 10 of Kamen Rider Zeztz. Let's check out the case file number 10. So Shade's diving into the producer's blog here. First, he says, in this episode, Baku disguises himself as a house cleaner for an art collector. The blog shares that the actor who plays the art collector was previously in Kamen Rider Blade from 2004. Director Shibasaki, who directed this episode, worked on Kamen Rider Blade as an assistant director, so they both reunited with each other again after all these years. How cute. While working on the scene where Baku is fighting the nightmare at the end, director Shibasaki told the staff, quote, "This location was also used in a really old tokusatsu show. Do you know what it is?" We're talking about the inverted pyramid building specifically.
I do not. Do
I
you?
I did not, but I'm going to read it now. So here's the answer. He then shared that this location was one of the Eagle bases from the first Super Sentai series, Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger. So that's cool. It's like, 50 years
We're
in the
throwing it
making.
all the way back.
Yeah. Eagle, aka the Earth Guard League, is the organization that the Go Rangers work for. So the Go Rangers are basically agents of Eagle. They fly around on a big Eagle themed plane and everything. It's cool. That's what Shade said. One of the behind the scenes photos this time around is Baku taking a picture of the camera, which is very funny. And we have some shots of the director teaching Nim how to be a proper mannequin for the opening scene, which is also very funny.
Which was basically just stand there, but she did have a good. I'm gonna call it like a robot arm move, but she she was very good at like I'm going to move myself back into place properly and seem like a statue.
Yeah, get it all back. I also find it funny that in this shot, behind the scenes shot, she's wearing slippers, so she took off the giant heels for like the practice shot.
I was gonna make a joke earlier. She had like what basically looked like 6-inch platform shoe heels on.
They were
It's
huge, yeah.
yeah, like and I was super impressed because I know I would have fallen if I would had to do anything in shoes that were that big.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Like I've tried to like walk around in like large giant platform shoes before, and it is genuinely really hard and really scary. just gonna roll an ankle at any moment. For the Zeztz closet, the stylist showed off some of Baku's at-home outfits, and he talked about some of the clothes he chose to match Baku's style, which is, quote, extremely lazy when it comes to his personal clothes. Shade says, I feel personally attacked because I dress like this. Yeah, that feels unnecessarily rude to Baku. I feel like he dresses kind of just like a normal dude.
Yeah,
uh,
like teenage kid, older teenage kid, whatever, younger teenage kid. So, I mean, the vibe check seems there for what I would
yeah,
assume.
I agree. Yeah. We've also got some other news and tidbits that Shade is going to share with us here. First up, Kamen Rider Gav Guilty Parfait recently had a premiere. The main cast reunited once again after a couple months to greet everyone at the premiere, and there was a really funny part where Shoma's actor told everyone about how Hanto's actor stole his socks. Which is pretty good. So yeah, more Gav out there in the world. Shade says, on the topic of Gav, something funny happened over on the Japanese Toku Twitter. There was an article about a brown bear in Japan, and for some reason, they're power scaling Kamen Rider Gav against this bear. The shocking thing is, the bear won? Question mark.
That seems fair. You really can't fight a bear.
I mean, yeah, like it won. Bears are hard to like figure out how to tackle, all right, how to take down. And then two, it's a bear. You want to be nice to it. They're often endangered.
Yeah, they're big fuzzy buddies.
They apparently the bear, according to the article that was written, the bear has 2 tons of punching power, and its speed is 50 kilometers an hour, or about 31 miles per hour. And then people were comparing that to Gav. Gav's popping gummy form has 1 ton of punching power, and its speed is only about 29.5 miles per hour, so a little bit slower. So technically, the bear is better on paper.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
We're gonna run this. We're gonna run this match by the books, and sometimes you got to lose.
Shade says, so under the right circumstances, a regular Japanese brown bear can kill a Granute part-timer. Finally, I'd like to bring up something I personally find very interesting. For those of you who don't know, Kamen Rider Decade's actor Masahiro Inoue has been making his own indie tokusatsu series called Sentika F8ABA6. I don't know if there's like a cooler way to pronounce that or not, but it's just a bunch of letters and numbers.
There probably is, but we're not going to get it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, Sentika F8ABA6 Jisariz is the full title. The second season of the show recently ended, and he's now raising money for season 3. Apparently, the show also has English subs too, which is cool. Shade links those for us. And he recently did an interview where he shared some of his thoughts about tokusatsu. Inoue first encountered Kamen Rider Decade at the age of 19, and 16 years later, he continues to produce special effects and remain a hero. He's currently seeking investors to produce the third season of his independently produced tokusatsu drama, and during negotiations involving a 10 million yen investment, he stated, "Tokusatsu requires CGI, suits, and action. It's the most energy-intensive part of a drama, but I think that's what makes it so appealing that people who watched it as children will remain fans even as adults. I want to create a project that will lead to such a bright future." He successfully signed the contract. Inoue says his motivation is his gratitude to tokusatsu. Quote, "Tokusatsu has shaped my future, so I don't want the tokusatsu industry to disappear. I think some content will disappear as time goes by. Anime, a part of Japanese culture, is now produced all over the world, and in 10 years, it may no longer just be a part of Japanese culture, but I don't want tokusatsu to disappear." He also said there's a limit to how long you can remain a hero. I think I can only be a main character for about another 10 years. Objectively, I don't think there's any need for me to be in the game. I'm getting to the age where I can entrust it to others. I may still be in 10 years, but I won't be the main focus. I only have 10 more years to give back to the people who have supported me up until now. Shade says, I think it's very insightful because, like he said, unlike the global phenomenon that is anime, tokusatsu is part of a Japanese pop culture that's slowly dwindling. Ever since the 2010s, there haven't been any major independent toku properties anymore. Now that Super Sentai and Ultraman are barely making ends meet, and Godzilla's moving away from tokusatsu in favor of CG nowadays, the only one standing really is just Kamen Rider. So yeah, it's really cool how passionate he is about toku and how much he gives back to the industry and community. In recent years, he's been going to a bunch of conventions around the world to meet fans. He even made an appearance in the Chinese toku series Extreme Vanguard Batar that I mentioned on this podcast a few months back. He's actually a legit character in the show, not just a cameo. So check out Sentika Jizuriz to show him some support. The show itself is confusing as hell, but it was worked on by a lot of tokusatsu veterans, so the suits and action are just as good as your regular toku show, except the budget is even smaller. All right, that's it for me. Have a great day. Shade, thanks very much for the email. Once again, cast@kamenwritersucks.com is the email address. I think the state of tokusatsu is very interesting currently, and it's something that I've spent some time thinking about recently with like digging into the Japanese Spider-Man history and the history of Super Sentai now that the future of that series is in question. And yeah, we used to get a lot more tokusatsu than we do now. It was in a boom period for a really long time, and it is very much in a down period right now. We don't really see Metal Hero series anymore. And for a lot of years, there were random other companies making random other toku shows that were good and that were kind of keeping up with things. But yeah, nowadays it seems like it's really just Kamen Rider, and Super Sentai is really struggling even. So even the big two aren't a for sure thing anymore. But I don't know. I think there's still a lot of potential for tokusatsu as an art form. And I think people feel that even if they don't know the tokusatsu word. I hear people say things to the effect of oh man, Puppet Yoda is way better than CG Yoda, right? These are things that people believe. They just might not have been exposed to the concept of tokusatsu as a genre before that. But I think that if more people could see it, more people would be into it as an idea.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I think there always is going to be an upper limit to toku. I think Godzilla is a great example. And it's not necessarily an upper limit that is necessary, but when companies start throwing enough money at a project, I'm sure it gets very hard to say, why are we spending $10 million, $20 million on a production that is just a dude in a suit, right? So even though you might be able to make a really cool looking dude in a Godzilla suit, at this point, probably the people who are writing the checks are going to be the people who are no, just do it with computers and we'll make it look lifelike or whatever. So it has to be someone, I think, like Inoue here, who has like a real passion for it, as an art form to keep it going, because it's so easy nowadays just to say we're going to hire a bunch of animators and it's all going to be CG. So yeah, it's weird. You have to have some kind of champion it seems like, to really get things going. But anywho, yeah, thanks for that recommendation. I hadn't heard much about his show, so I will check it out, see what it's all about. All right, so that is emails. You mentioned earlier, Toby. We'll hit it again. We do have a Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/thecommentwriters. And for the Patreon, you can sign up for $3 a month, and you get access to all of our bonus content that we have ever put out as soon as you sign up. That bonus content includes watch-alongs of stuff like all of Kamen Rider X-Aid, all of Kamen Rider Black Sun, all of Boon Boomgers. Right now we're watching through Dawn Brothers and Goes Yuger. So you have all those to watch as well. So a ton of stuff that we have checked out together, and you can watch along with us for $3 a month. And you get access to the Discord too. You can talk to us all week long. But if $3 a month is too much for you, we do have a free follow. You can follow the Patreon for free, and the first 3 episodes of all the shows that we've watched are up there for free to check out. So you can sample a lot of stuff before deciding to commit. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun recording the Patreon stuff. It's very different than the podcast stuff we're doing, and it's a nice accoutrement, I guess, to the podcast offering.
Or effectively, it's exactly like the podcast. It's just a little more off the rails.
Yes, it is a little bit more off the rails. Yeah, and you get to watch a little bit more toku, which is always a good thing. So again, patreon.com/thecommentwriters is where you can find that. Toby, I think that brings us to the end. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
On Twitter, it's Life of Tobes. On YouTube, it's Tobes Plays. And on GeoGuessr/Retro Achievements is both Tobes Plays as well.
For me, you can find me over on Blue Sky at meek.lol, and the show's on Blue Sky at commonwritersucks.com. So yeah, check out both of those things. Please do give the podcast a subscribe, give it a like, give it a repost, whatever platform you're on, whatever's allowed. All those things are very helpful. Leave it a review if you can. And most importantly, tell a friend. If you have another buddy who likes this kind of stuff and is into Kamen Rider, or you think they might, tell them you got a fun podcast to listen to and send it their way. That's always super helpful. So yeah, that is going to wrap us up for this week. We'll be back next time to talk about what goes on in the world of high concept art theft. And we hope you join us back for that. So until then, have a great week, everybody. Peace.